Hello everyone, welcome to Models and Trains, where I continue to show my collection of handmade blue circle trucks. This is a bit of a one-off. The photograph I had again was very poor quality, so I couldn't really show that as a guide. But here is an ERF. Now there's an association with ERF and the previous Foden trucks was that they were rival brothers at a later stage. So this is obviously a bulk tanker. Now the cab again came from Langley models, and where are we? Yes, the chassis was also from Langley, from EFE. This one. Now I have to make all these bulk tankers. You can't buy them. So this is basically a plastic card folded around. It was a bit of a broom handle, actually, smaller diameter broom handle, with some filler on the back to recreate the shape. And then we have the discharge storage containers on either side for the pipes. So there you can see the shape. So as these were lifted with hydraulic rams, there was a pump which could pressurize the tank and discharge the cement. So I quite like these. I can't find any other photographs of Blue Circle using ERF trucks. I'm sure there's many, but I can't come across them. I like to copy my models from the photographs. Okay, so now I'm just going to zoom down and show you this. This is a Corgi trackside model of a Blue Circle truck. Now these are Foden S21s. The colouring is all wrong. This is more like a lemon than yellow. The blue is completely wrong, but again, it's a model. So what I've done, I bought quite a few of these and I've modified them into the various Foden trucks that Blue Circle had. Now these are from the 1960s. The previous Fodens I showed were pre-60s. So we're getting into the more modern vehicles now. So what I'll do, I'll start off, I have to excuse. Right. See, here is the Foden S21, which has been modified from this. I've cut the cab off and mounted it onto an 8-wheel chassis. Also, this was a Corgi trackside truck, so I didn't make the tipper body or the chassis. I only made the cover that went on top. That's my and obviously the cab has been modified with mirrors, indicators, and the correct color scheme. And then I've added the appropriate decals to it. You can just see on the cab door the tiny decals. Now these were known as Mickey Mouse wagons because of the shape of the cab. They reminded people of a Mickey Mouse. Okay, so I'm going to move that one and then put the next one on. So if we look here, here's a photo of one of these Foden S21s in a scrapyard, and this is how they would have looked when they were operational in their yellow and blue livery. Quite a striking wagon, to be honest with you. Right, so here is a black and white photograph of the S21 bulk carrier, and here's my model of it. So again, the cab was taken from this model and cut off and put onto an 8-wheel chassis. So here's the model, and I've made them so that they can tip, the bodies can lift up. And as I said previously, all the trucks had first aid kits. So these were, like I say, more modern than the old Fodens. These had mostly Gardner engines, very, very reliable, world famous Gardner engines. And there we have the discharge valve at the rear of the tank. Now, to discharge these, you built up the air pressure in the tank, and that would have been to about 15 psi, and then the driver had to operate two valves, one airflow and one cement flow, and it was a balancing act to get the mixture right, the amount of air to cement feed, otherwise the whole thing would block up. So that's that version. Now we'll turn the page over. So there it is with the tank raised. Now, it was in the mid 60s, or I believe 66, 67, Blue Circle changed to all yellow. Instead of having the Oxford blue mudguards and wings, they became all yellow. They also had the it looks like a box van, but it's actually a bulk carrier. So again, these would literally tip up and discharge into like a pit with a conveyor belt underneath. So there's the photograph of the bulk tipper I showed. It's functioning. Now then, these would have been the company's first articulated vehicles, and as you can see, these were, I believe these trailers were made by Merryworth. They were called 4 in line. So I made a model of it. So let's put this one up on the stand. So again, the carbon chassis has been modified. The colouring's been changed to the correct colours. So if you've noticed, the catwalks, the ladder, etc. on my model I've made, I've recreated that. Even with the airlines. And then we have rear lights, the discharge valve, and then we have on top would have been the filler hatches, so the driver would open those and then they would be loaded in the bulk loading facility and then onto a weighbridge. Now I'll just flip the page over. I've also made it so that the tanker could be disconnected and the legs wound down, so it could be dropped off in a parking area. So going back up to my model, as you can see, I've recreated that. And there you can see the fifth wheel plate and the tanker disconnected. So onto the last one now, this was a bit of a took a lot of time and effort to make this. So we'll just flick the page over. Oh no, it's on this one. So here we have, as you can see, the 6-wheel articulated vehicle. Now this that would have been about 1968, 67, 68, with a more powerful engine. And here's my copy of it. So we flip the page over. There we are. Now this tank was a nightmare to make because of its shape. If you see here how it's shaped. And again, the chassis has also been handmade as well. So a bit of a twin axle bulk tanker trailer, circa 1967 to 1971, chassis and bulk tank handmade. So again, we'll go up to the model. So this would have been a real heavy in its day. The only thing that's missing is the number plate. I forgot to put the number plate on. Again, these were made 15-16 years ago. And again, with the airlines, well, they used to be called Susie leads. And there's the cab. Yeah, so all in all, quite a difficult tanker to make, but I think at the end it turned out okay. So what I'll do, I'll just pan down there again, lift that off. Back up, and there it is. It's disconnected from the unit, and it's on its legs, trailer legs. And I had to be very creative with these bulk delivery decals. It's hard to explain how I made them, but I made those from an original photo. As you can see on the doors, there's the blue circle decal. The headboard, it's also, I've made that and applied it so with the name on it. So again, it's all about trying to recreate something which is as close to the original photograph I could get. The wing mirrors I made, indicators, and again the first aid kit sign. These also have the scale number plates from Langley models. Okay, so thank you for watching. Bye now.